Okay, so just coming to your space, taking your time. So you need a bit of space around you and things like that. So you've got your mat and your area. And then we're just going to feel the ground beneath our feet. So you can lift up one heel at a time, maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Just getting that sense of support that you have underneath the feet. And I'm going to soften the knees and just rock the arms from side to side. So the full range of movements with the spine is the rotation, which is what we're doing now. So just being careful with yourself. So just starting, especially if you've been sitting down all day or whatever you've been doing, being aware that the weight of our head, the weight of gravity, the weight of our spine, everything sort of compresses down towards the lower back. So these little movements just aim to release a little bit around the upper spine. So know that the mid-spine or the lumbar spine doesn't rotate, so what's moving is your pelvis and your shoulders. So really allow, or the upper spine really allow the arms to be heavy, and then gradually coming back to centre. Stop there for a few moments, just place your hands onto your chest. So we just work with the breath a little bit. And again, you can move the knees, so make sure you don't get too kind of heavy in the knees or the legs. Focus your gaze so that the hands are just resting on the chest. Be aware of your breath coming in. And then as you breathe out, just push the palms away and round the spine. So it's a bit of a cat stretch, and your gaze can be down towards your feet. As you breathe in, bring the hands back onto the chest. And as you breathe out, round the spine, push the hands away. When you breathe in, bring the hands onto the chest. And if it's okay, just look up towards the ceiling. So you're going to a bit of a back bend. As you breathe out, round the spine. As you breathe in, bring the hands back onto the chest, take the gaze up, open the throat. As you breathe out, send the hands away. So you're rounding the spine. Last time, as you breathe in, bring the hands onto the chest, take the gaze up, open the throat. Don't think of dropping the head back, think of lengthening the throat. Breathe as you need to, as you just carefully bring your head back to centre. So you just find that upright posture, I suppose, and know with yourself as well that there's no right or wrong way to, well, the wrong way to stand is if it's uncomfortable. There's no such thing as perfect posture, but sometimes it's quite nice to sort of be aware of what's happening with our head, especially because, we're doing computers and we live in the front of our body, so we do have a tendency, most of us, me included, to let our head drop. So if you place the hands on the back of the head, the curve of the skull, and then just lift the gaze forward and just let the head drop, be supported by the hands, and think of where the heels are, so the back of the heels, and imagine the back of the skull coming in line with the back of the heels. You can push your hips forward, you can push the hips back, you can push the hips from side to side to kind of free up a little bit around the pelvis, and gradually come back to centre, and then again drop the head down so the gaze goes towards the feet. Lift the gaze, and then just allow the back of the head to rest back into the hands. So the back of the head, the rounded part of the skull is in line with the heels, and then bring your hands down, and you might feel a little bit odd, but it's just changing the way, your habits that we have, because most of us, and I will say me included, we can have this kind of position. So, and it's not about pulling your shoulders back, it's just about finding support through the spine. And then just stop for a few moments, and we'll just work with the movements again. So we're going to place the right hand on the left shoulder and the left hand on the right shoulder. So think of where you are. So the left forearm is on top. So always naming those things to yourself so it keeps you present. Soften the knees again and then rock from side to side, or rotate, I should say, turn from side to side. So just finding a bit of movement in the upper part of the spine. So this is your rotation. Then come back to centre, and then we're going to bring the right shoulder towards the right hip, so between two panes of glass, and then come back up. Then the left shoulder towards the left hip. So we're opening the sides of the body now, so these little side bends. Right shoulder towards the right hip, then come back up. Left shoulder towards the left hip, come back up. Then the next time the right shoulder goes towards the right hip, turn to look towards that right foot or right ankle. And we're going to unfold the arms. The right arm goes down, left one goes up. And can you really rest down into that left foot so you feel that length all the way down the left side of the body. If possible, take the left arm over, but you don't have to. Or you can place the left hand on the crown of the head, or you can keep it up, or you can bring it down, and then when you're ready, come back up. And you can feel that movement all through the left side. So we just do that on the other side. So right hand on the left shoulder, left hand on the right, so left forearm is on top, same as before. We're going to bring the left shoulder towards the left hip, so between two panes of glass, turn to look down towards the left ankle. Then we're going to unfold the arms, the left one goes down, right one goes up. And rest down into that right foot, so the right arm is up, and the weight of the right arm can rest all the way down to the right foot. So you're not stretching the arm up, think of the weight of the arm resting into the shoulder. Breath in, then as you breathe out, lower the arm back down. Stop there for a few moments, and then again, just swing the arms around a little bit. It's always a really nice way to find movement and freedom, I suppose, around the lower spine and, well, around the whole of the spine. And come back to centre, then the same cross of the arms, the right hand goes on the left shoulder, left hand on the right, so left forearm is on top. So we've done our rotations, we've done our side bends, now we're going to do a forward bend, so I'll just turn. So think of where the elbows are, soften your knees, the elbows are coming towards the knees, let go of the weight of your head, your spine can feel quite rounded, it's a quite soft little movement. Then we take the elbows forward, we take the elbows up, gaze goes towards the ceiling, so try not to think of dropping the back of the head, think of lengthening the throat. Go forward and the elbows come down. Think of the elbows coming towards the knees, and then one more time, take the elbows up, gaze goes up, and this time when the elbows go down, just bring the hands onto the elbows and just rock a little bit from side to side. See if you can let go of the shoulders. So what I mean by that is you can push the shoulders up, but then let them go, let them hang, let the weight of the arms rest away from the shoulders. Then maybe to see where the hands go. The hands might just go onto the knees, which is fine. You can bend the knees if you feel any discomfort in the lower back, bend the knees. We could bring the hands towards the ankles, or if you need support, you can bring the hands onto a chair. Just kind of see where you are. Then ever so carefully, think of rounding through the spine to bring yourself back up. So we're going to do that same little sequence again, just change the cross of the arms. So left hand goes on the right shoulder, right hand on the left. So now the right forearm is on top, and then just rock or turn a little bit from side to side. Just easing, you can feel that movement through the feet as well. If your knees are soft, feel the connection right the way down through to the ground. Come back to centre, then the right shoulder goes towards the right hip, come back up, left shoulder towards the left hip. Just breathing as you need to, your body knows how to breathe. Right shoulder towards the right hip, left shoulder towards the left hip. And this time, you unfold the arms. The left arm goes down, right one goes up. And your gaze goes down towards that left foot or left ankle. Breathe in, then as you breathe out, lower that top arm and just come back to stand. So we just do that one more time. So left hand on the right shoulder, right hand on the left. Rock a little bit from side to side. All these little things, just ease the muscles all around the spine. And there are so many muscles in and around the spine or the vertebral column. And then when you're ready, come back to centre. Left shoulder towards the left hip. And you can turn the gaze, look down if you like. Come back up. Right shoulder towards the right hip, you can turn to look down, see how your neck is feeling. Then this time, when the left shoulder goes towards the left hip, just unfold the arms. And then come back up. So right hand on the left shoulder, left on the right. And this time, as you go down towards the right hip, right shoulder towards the right hip, unfold the arms. And really rest down into that left foot. Down, down, down into the left foot. So the arm that's above you isn't stretching, the arm that's above you rests down into that left foot. Take the left arm over if you like, or place it on the head, or keep it above. So wherever you place your arm will change the muscles in the shoulders. And ever so carefully, you lower the arm down and stop there. So there's your side bends and your rotations. We'll just do the forward bends and back bends again. So left hand on the right shoulder, right hand on the left. So if you think now, so most of the forward bending and back bending action comes from the mid part of the spine, the lumbar spine, around the back of the waist. So if you think of where the back of the waist is, so the back of the waist there, front of the waist here, think of the front of the ribs being drawn in to bring the elbows towards the knees. Think of the back of the waist rounding. Think of the back of the waist being drawn up as though there are balloons or strings attached to the back of the waist. The spine to really feel quite rounded. Let go of the weight of the head. And maybe when you let go of the arms, take the arms away from the shoulders, it might go a little bit lower. But think of the spine, think of the back of the spine, the back of the waist really being drawn up. Then place the left hand on the right shoulder, right hand on the left, round through the spine to bring yourself up, really resting into the feet. Elbows go forward, elbows go up, glance towards the ceiling. If you soften the knees, think of the knees moving forward as the elbows go up. Don't go forward, don't let the knees go forward too much, there's enough of a back bend. And then when you're ready, come back to centre, lower the arms and stop there for a few moments. So we're just working to a forward bend or standing forward bend or uttanasana. We're just working to it a little bit more slowly, a little bit more with awareness. So if you can, the feet are at least hip width apart. So when I say hip width apart, that means think of the outside edges of the feet being in line with the outside edges of the knees, the outside edges of the hips. Let your hands rest on the outside edge of the hips. If you roll onto the outside edges of the feet, know that your knees go out and the hips widen a little bit. If you roll onto the inside edges of the feet, the knees come together, the hips narrow a little bit. So now, bring the outside edges of the feet down, but also bring the inside edges of the feet down. So you have more of a stable base, and that will support the knees, and that will allow the pelvis to rest quite neutrally or properly, I suppose, for want of a better word, on top. So where the hands are resting now, if you bring the knees to, keep the feet as they are, if you bring the knees together, you can feel the hips widen, the hips narrow. If you let go, think of just widening the hips into the hands. So you find the outside edges of the feet, to find the outside edges of the hips. Take your hands on the back of the waist, because we know that this is the area that flexes, that moves forward. So as we start to send the spine forward, think of where the hands are resting on the back of the waist. Think of that part there drawing up. You might find the belly will start to lift, but you don't have to do that. Those muscles will start to work. So you're drawing up through the back of the waist to allow the crown of the head to go down. Any kind of strain in the back of the legs or anywhere on the lower back, you can soften or bend the knees, but still keeping that sense of awareness in the outside edge of the feet. Maybe you can bring the hands onto the knees can be quite soft. Underneath your hands, think of sending the knees forward to find the front parts of the feet, and then bring the hands down. Let go of the weight of your head. So if you want to, you can bend one knee at a time, just ease into the back of the legs, and then lift up one heel at a time. And then let the heels really rest, but not push, so the heels just sort of dance or glance with the floor, and you let the weight of the head rest down. And think of widening through the back of the hips, widening through the back of the waist, and still feel as though the back of the waist is being drawn up as the crown of the head goes down. And then from here, if it's okay, start to walk your hands forward. So you go into a bit of a down dog-ish sort of shape. You can bend one knee at a time, soften or bend the elbows, and if it's okay for you, bring the knees down, or coming down onto the floor in any way that feels comfortable for you. So you're in all fours, you can lift up one knee at a time, shake the hands. So we just do a cat movement, but kind of slow it down a little bit. So if you take your gaze towards your knees, and just imagine there's a small marble, or like a little marble, or something that rolls. And the marble between the knees is just going to roll forward between the hands, and you're following it with your gaze. And then the marble rolls forward, past the edge of the mat, and that's what takes the gaze forward, and you might find the spine start to dip a little bit. And then the marble rolls back, slowly, slowly, slowly between the hands, towards the knees, and you follow that with your gaze, and now your spine starts to round. Then the marble rolls forward, between the hands, you can soften the elbows, the gaze starts to lift as the marble goes far, far away beyond the mat, and then the marble rolls back. Slowly, slowly, slowly between the hands, towards the knees, and then the spine will start to round. So you find that movement of the spine without really having to do very much at all, just with your gaze, just with the movement perhaps through the neck. And the neck is part of the spine. And the gaze, the eyes, have an integral connection to the skull and the neck. And you just know that your body breathes. You don't have to change the breath or anything like that, as you just continue to work with this slow, quiet movement. And then the next time your gaze comes back, or you follow the marble back towards the knees and the spine rounds, well done. With a rounded spine, can you ever so carefully ease the hips back towards the heels? We go into that flexion movement through the spine. You can bring the elbows a little bit closer towards the knees. Just kind of see if this is too much for you. Obviously you come out of it. You can support the head with the hands, or the elbows can be on the floor, so you can support your head in this way. Or you might find the forehead comes onto the floor, but you just sort of experiment with it. Your head doesn't have to come down. It's more important that you can feel that length through the lower back, because now we're going to work into a back bend bridge position from the floor. So if we come over, come onto our backs, so taking your time, and the soles of your feet are flat to the floor, so your knees, keeping your knees bent, and place your hands on around the belly, and just lightly tap a little bit. So you want the abdomen to feel quite soft. So we're not, those muscles will work anyway. We don't have to pull in, we don't have to tense up. And the softer the outer muscles, the more movement you're going to find on the inside. So then when you're ready, let the hands rest. Maybe the hands can rest on the hips, actually, around the hips. Then we're going to lift up the toes, bring the toes down, lift up the heels. Bring the heels down, lift up the toes. Bring the toes down, lift up the heels. So as you do this, rocking forward and back through the feet, just see if you can find that movement, that rocking sensation through the pelvis, through where your hands are resting through the hips. And if you don't feel any kind of sensation in the hips at all, that's okay. Just imagine that as you lift the heels, the back of the waist goes down. As you lift the toes, the back of the waist comes up. Just kind of sort of feeling what you're doing, because you might feel the opposite. So all our bodies, we're just products of the lives that we lead, really. So these little movements are just meant to reset things, I suppose, or just find a little bit of quiet. And then when you're ready, the feet come, rest down. And now we're going to rock the feet from side to side. So you come onto the inside edges of one foot, outside edge of the other. So as the knees go to the right, you're on the outside edge of the right foot, the inside edge of the left foot. So just rocking from side to side through the feet, and feeling how that translates. That movement cascades up through the legs to the hips and to the pelvis. So feeling that movement as you just rock the knees from side to side. And then come back to centre. Hands are resting on the hips. We're going to imagine that your feet are resting on something like warm earth or sand, something that's really quite receptive and comfortable. So as you push down into the right foot, so you're going to leave a really strong imprint down through the right foot, the right hip will lift. So down through the right foot to let the right hip lift. And then stop, and the hip will drop. Then down through the left foot to lift up the left hip. And then let it go, and the hip will drop. Down through the right foot to lift up the right hip. And then let go. Hip comes down, widens, rests. Down through the left foot to lift up the left hip. And then let it rest. And now, when you're ready, you're going to go down into both feet to lift up both hips. So really feel that support down through the feet to allow your hips to come up. Buttock muscles tense up anyway. You don't have to do any more than that. You're going to feel the lower back start to compress a little bit, but don't go beyond what feels doable for you. And then ever so carefully lower your spine back down. When your spine comes down, draw the right knee in, then the left knee, hands on the knees, rock a little bit from side to side. And then come to centre, place the right ankle on top of the left ankle, let the knees drop to the right, circle away from you and round to the left. And then round again. There can be a smaller movement than this, or you can make it a bigger movement, just depending on what feels right for you today. So it's a really good way to massage those muscles around the lower back and the lumbar spine. And that area there is the area that does the extension or the back bend. And then come to centre, place the left ankle on top, let the knees drop to the left, circle away from you and round to the right. So really be aware of that massaging effect that you have in your lower back. So your feeling and your attention to the physical sensations in your body are really vital for your awareness and that ability to be present, to be here. And that's when our mind starts to focus, thoughts start to settle. So come to centre, bring the feet back on the floor, knees are bent. Now if possible, if it's okay for you, we're going to take the right arm on the floor above your head. If that's not okay for you, if your shoulders don't allow that, then you can keep the arm in a place that's comfortable for you and you're just going to move the shoulder. If it's okay to take the right arm on the floor above your head, then that's fine. So knees are still bent, you're going to go down into the right foot like we did before, and that will lift the right hip. Try to let the left hip be heavy on the floor, down into the right foot, right hip lifts, then you're going to stretch the right arm away or draw the right shoulder up towards the right ear. So it's a big stretch down the right side of the body. If it's okay, turn your head to the left. So feel the sensations down the right side of the body, breathe in. And as you breathe out, let go. Bring the arm back down, let the foot come down. And just feel how that feels in the right side. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to take the right arm on the floor above your head. Push down into the right foot to lift the right hip. Know that now your right knee is further away than the left knee. Stretch away through the right arm, turn your head to the left. If it's okay, so all these things kind of free up the muscles around the neck and the shoulders. Your left hand can be resting on the base of the ribs if that's comfortable for you. Really being with your breath, and ever so carefully stop, bring the arm back down, rest there for a few moments. Stop. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to take the left arm on the floor above your head. You rest down into the left foot to lift the left hip. Then you stretch the left arm away. Stretch the left arm away. As you feel that stretch, turn the head to the right. Possible, turn your head to the right. If you feel the stretch down the left side of the body, then when you're ready, lower the left hip. Bring the left arm back down. Stop there for a few moments. Settle. One more time, left arm goes on the floor above your head. Go down into the left foot to lift up the left hip. Show that real sense of moving through the side of the body. Turn your head to the right. Note that the left knee goes further away than the right knee. The hips are lifted. Maybe breathe in. Then as you breathe out, lower that left arm down and the hip comes back down to the floor. Stop there for a few moments. Just feel how that is in the back of your body and around your shoulders. Be aware of your breath, and then we're going to just work into bridge again. So we go down into the feet to lift the hips. Down, down, down into the feet to let the hips come up. Feel the shoulders widen, and if possible, can you take the arms on the floor above your head so you feel that connection down through the feet and down through the back of the shoulders. Be aware of your breath, be with your breath as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you can gently, gently lower your spine back down. When your spine comes down, draw your knees in towards you. Lightly place your hands on your knees and rock from side to side. So just easing, feeling into the back of the body. And then when you're ready, come to centre. Take both hands underneath the right knee, and if it's okay, lengthen the left leg away from you. Ease the knee down, circle the right ankle. A few times one way, then the other way. Push the left heel away as you draw the right knee a little bit closer down. And then draw the left knee in, hands underneath the left knee, lengthen the right leg away. And as you push the right heel away, draw the left knee in a little bit more. Circle the left ankle. A few times one way, then the other way. Ease the left knee down, then draw the right knee in. Both hands on top of the knees, just rock from side to side. And then we're going to bring the feet on to come to centre, bring your feet on the floor. Take the feet a little bit wider. Stop there for a few moments. Maybe place the hands on the base of the ribs. So just have that sense of your breath. And then again, we're going to just roll through the feet. So just roll from outside edge of the right foot, inside edge of the left foot. The knees go to the right. And then roll over the other way. Just rocking the knees from side to side. It's a really good way to ease into the muscles around the pelvis. And they're really tight, strong muscles. And the pelvis is a really strong area of our body. It supports our spine. It keeps us upright. So it's a really good way to move to release muscles to allow the weight of the body to rest on the floor, so know that you're supported. Now if this feels okay for you, come back to centre and then draw the knees in. If you'd rather keep your feet on the floor, keep your feet on the floor. And then just again rock your knees from side to side. Just a little bit. Knees don't have to go all the way to the floor. Just remember you're massaging the muscles in your lower back. So we just progress this movement a little bit. So come to centre. We're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the right hand on the left elbow, left hand on the right elbow, and rock the elbows from side to side. So now we're starting to mobilise the back of the shoulders. As the elbows go to the right, turn your head to the right, let your knees drop a little bit to the left. Come back to centre. As the elbows go to the left, turn the head to the left, let the knees drop a little bit to the right. So slow it down, work with awareness, and really feel what's going on in your body as you rock from side to side. Your head can turn in the same direction as the elbows. If your hands want to come away from the elbows, that's fine. The hands can rest on the wrists or just the fingertips. You know, just working in a way, soft way. I mean, they're quite big movements to the spine, but you don't want to be forceful with it because the weight of your body is enough. Then the next time the elbows go to the right, just see if the right elbow can come down. The hands can come away from the elbows. Maybe the right elbow can come down to the floor. The left knee might come down to the floor, but the right knee doesn't have to. Just feel more of a twist through the back of the body, through the waist, and then come back up. The left elbow comes to the floor, towards the floor maybe. The head turns to the left. The right knee might come down. So you just feel that movement or that twist in the spine again. And then come back to centre one more time each side. Turn the head to the right. Right elbow comes down, knees go to the left. So you feel that rotation. Come back to centre. Elbows go to the left. Head turns to the left. Knees go to the right. And now when you slow down a little bit, feel your breath. Know that your body knows how to breathe. And then come back to centre. Let the hands come to rest underneath the knees if it's okay. Be aware of your breath coming in. And as you breathe out, can you just ease the knees a little bit closer? Breath comes in. And as you breathe out, can you ease the knees a little bit closer? Just see if that's a possibility. Breathe as you need to. So the spine is really long. The back of the waist is really long on the floor. So you've really lengthened the back of the waist. Just rock a little bit from side to side. Then let go of the knees, or maybe let the hands come to rest on the right knee and see what it feels like if you lengthen the left leg away. Then see what it feels like if you lengthen the right leg away. The arms can come down by your side, and just for a few moments you come into Shavasana. So you've got the legs long, straight along the floor, the arms wide, resting on the floor down by your sides. And just feeling and being with your breath. And in this moment, being aware of the weight of your body resting on the floor and all those parts of your body in contact with the floor. So when you breathe in, through the nose if possible, feel the breath coming into the body. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, really let go of the breath and really feel the breath and the body settle. And let the body settle into the floor. As you let go of the breath, you let go of the body. The breath comes back in and you have that sense of widening and opening and filling up inside and around all those spaces in the body. And as you breathe out, can you just feel your body rest a little bit deeper into the floor? And you let go just for a moment. There may be a possibility of resting, of quiet. And the next time you breathe in a little bit deeper. And then you let go of the breath. And the next time you breathe in a little bit deeper and slower and longer. And then you let go. And the next time you breathe in, taking the arms up and overhead, stretching the arms away, stretching through the heels, a full stretch through the whole of the body. And as you breathe out, you let go. The arms can come down, you breathe as you need to, as you rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe draw your knees in towards you. Just see how that feels. If you want to stay longer on the floor, obviously you stay longer on the floor. You can open your eyes if that feels the right time for you, opening the eyes. And then when you're ready, if it's okay, just rolling onto your side, taking your time, and coming to sit up. So just getting ready for the rest of the night.